Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Kingdom Conversations. I am your host, Pastor Jay Hen, and we are here for another amazing episode of Kingdom Conversations. And I'm telling you, I'm excited about today's show. But first, before we even talk about that, I see Brother Maurice Crumpton. What's up, Mo? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for coming on in. How was everybody's weekend? I hope everybody had an amazing time spending it with your family, with your loved ones. And one thing I am going to share with you guys is I'm at the point where I am no longer forcing relationships with anyone. Everyone that's in my life from this day forward has to be there because it's what they want to do, not because I'm forcing it. I'm not forcing nobody to be my friend. I'm not forcing anybody to support me. I am looking for give and take. That's what our life is built off of. It's off of giving love, receiving love, giving respect, receiving respect. So that's the vibe we on, man. And it's easy for me to talk about love and respect because this man of God that I'm about to bring to the platform is my big brother, literally. I remember years of him playing a father figure in myself, Cedric, and Lauren's life. He was our big brother, but he kept us in line on next level, man. But it's because of him that we experienced so many great things. And he's my guy. He's my brother. I love him. I love his family. And we all know him from the Cosby Show. From the Cosby Show, I can't sing like him, but y'all remember him when he did that. I can tell you how I feel for you. That episode when he sung that. And then now the Tyler Perry plays, and he's done so many significant things, Law and Order, so much other stuff. Got his own voice lesson school. We're gonna talk about everything that he's doing. I'm so grateful and honored to have this man of God here with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring him to the stage. Without any further ado, my big brother, Mr. Maurice Lauchner. Man, what's up, man?
Yo, what's up, baby bro? What's going on,
Hey,
man?
nothing, man. How you doing, Jack?
I'm doing good, man. God is good, man. I can't complain, bro.
Listen, I'm gonna tell everybody, get ready to laugh, because when me and Maurice talk, it's just a good time. But yo,
Oh
man,
yeah.
thank you so much for coming to the conversation. And I want to publicly thank you for the role that you played in helping develop the man that I am. We were a little younger, but we always wanted to hang around you. We always wanted to be with Maurice, and we're gonna get into the stories about how my mom would let me go out to Queens to spend the weekend with you and Mr. Norris, and the stories that come from that. Grandma
Oh man.
Kate. It was a whole lot that we got to talk about. So let's get right to it, man.
All right.
You are a great role model, have been for me and a lot of other young men for years. How did you get into singing and acting? How did you get into that?
Man, it all started from the house. It started from the house. Just growing up in church. My grandparents, my grandmother and great grandmother, and my mom and all them, we were all brought up in the church. So my grandmother would sing around the house all the time. My mother would sing. Just it was we grew up in a musical family where they had a community choir called the McCain Gospel Singers. It started with the McCain
Wow.
Singers, and then they were our next door neighbors. So you would talk about like maybe 12 to 16 people crammed up in a living room
Wow.
singing uh, songs, and you're just there as a little kid, just absorbing all of this singing and this music. And of course, we live right next door from him. I want to say less than 20 yards away.
Wow.
And I would always go to the rehearsals, sit there and listen to them. And they would have a guy playing the guitar in the living room. They'd have a little amp and a little bass amp, and they'd be in there clapping and tambourines
Going in.
going in. So I believe, it really started in the house with that impartation, that musical ability, but then realizing that impartation and those things that were imputed into my life. My great grandmother noticed that I started whistling at the age of 3
Mm.
in pitch,
Mm.
and so the musical ability had been there. I mean, it's a gift. It's God's gift from God for me. And so then when I started like really just like giving it a shot as far as singing, I was mimicking, those who were around me,
Okay.
you know. So it started in the
Like
house.
who? Who were you mimicking?
I would mimic those, my mom, my grandmother, the next door neighbors, the men that were in the
Watch this. Let me hear you do a little bit of Aunt K.
yeah.
How did Aunt K used to sing?
So Aunt Kay, okay, she had she came out of a Catholic background,
Uh-huh.
and so they did a lot of hymns and arias and things like that. So when she sang like the Lord's Prayer, "Oh Father, which art in heaven." So I
You
would
sound
mock,
just like her.
yeah,
Oh,
I would mock her. I would mock my mom, and and those people around me. My grandfather sang a little bit, but he was more into jazz.
yeah,
You know what
he
I'm
was a
saying?
jazz head. Yeah,
He was a jazz head, so his
yeah.
whole tonality and his approach with singing was something totally different. You know?
Now, while we talking about her, your grandmother Kay, let me tell y'all something. When we would go over to Maurice's house, they treated us like we was just straight blood family.
Yeah,
No ifs, ands, buts. The good part, but the part that I hated was your grandmother would make us. We used to, the main reason why me, Lauren, and Cedric used to like to go out with Maurice because we could stay out past our curfew. We could almost break day as long as we were with Maurice. But on Saturday morning, Aunt Kay didn't care what time we got in the house. She would come up there, get up, go back, go clean the bath.
the,
God, she was strict on us, man.
the funniest thing that she ever told y'all to do and me. I never forget this, and we laid up in the bed and we were just dying laughing. She was like, "Get up, get out that bed, get down here, and clean up this house. Y'all stayed out all night. Y'all think y'all ain't gonna clean up?" And so we was like, so we stood up here. She said, "You need to come down here and wash these walls." We was like, "Wash the walls?" So it's like, yo, we laughed so hard
Oh my God.
because who washes
Who
walls?
washes walls?
I
And she
was
was
like,
dead serious.
she was
Dead serious.
dead serious, dead serious, and she would fuss to the point to where my grandfather, you would hear him coming up the stairs. He's like, "Come on, man,
Yeah.
you know." Your grandmother, y'all get out the bed, just come downstairs, show your face, man,
Yeah.
so she can stop all this yelling. So I'm like, okay, So I mean, but we did go down there and do some chores,
Yeah, we had to. We had no choice.
right? But now fast forwarding all of that, we laughed at it, but
Mhm.
you know that what she was trying to teach us was very much character building and
Yeah.
just being clean.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I'm saying? Not
responsible,
being,
accountable.
yeah,
Yeah.
and being accountable. And it so many different messages we can get out of all of that. We laughed our heads off, but
Yeah.
later on when you start thinking about it, when we started working and we
Yeah.
would hang out all night
Yeah.
and then we would get up and go to work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All those things we didn't realize why they were happening, why they was getting on our nerves. But when
Hmm.
we got jobs, we were able to get up take care of our responsibilities. And then
Mm-hmm.
we would laugh. I know I speak for me. I would laugh about this stuff because I'm like, Dad, I remember my grandmother. We used to get in 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then we would get 3, 4 hours of sleep, and then get up
Right.
and go to work,
Yeah.
not realizing that she was kind of conditioning us to be responsible,
Yeah.
and have integrity, so that when we had to get to work, we don't get there late because we was
Yeah.
hanging out and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So I mean, it was funny then, and it sometimes it got on our nerves because it's like, come on, man, we tired. And
Yeah.
ain't nobody about to wash no wall. So I was like, yo,
And now I find myself doing a lot of that stuff to my kids and my grandkids. Now, my kids are grown basically
yeah,
now, but when they were coming up through the ranks, a lot of those lessons, man, I instituted it in my house, and my mom and dad was the same way. Like they were like, "Listen, you're gonna clean up." And
oh yeah,
one of my greatest fears as a kid was when I would get in trouble from my dad, because my dad used to wear them thick Wrangler belts
oh God.
with the silver buckle. And Doc, he was so quick on the drawer. He'll catch you. Whomp. You remember Pootie Tang?
Yeah.
That's my father
Oh man. Man.
with the belt. My father was when I was growing up, I thought my father was a ninja.
Oh boy.
I promise you, because he would appear out of nowhere. And when he took that belt off, he was so fast with it. I said, man, this guy's a doggone ninja. But those lessons that we were taught grew up, and it helped us to become the men that we are today, man.
Oh yeah.
So you did all that. Then you went to was it LaGuardia or Performing Arts?
It was music and art first,
Music and Arts.
and then they combined performing arts and music and art, made it Fiorello LaGuardia School of the Music and Performing Arts.
Mm.
So we started out separate because you had performing arts, which is down on 46th Street in Midtown,
Okay.
and then you had music and art, which was on 125th Street up in Harlem.
Mm.
And so somebody had a great idea to combine both schools to make it one big school. So we had several different entities within the school. We had dance department, we had art, we had uh, instrumental, we had vocal departments, we had what is that? Dance, instrumental. We had drama departments.
Mm-hmm.
So we had like 4 to 5 different departments in one school, which made it the School of the Arts. And I mean, I want to say that was the best foundation you can get, especially if you want to launch into the business that we're
Mm-hmm.
in. You know what I mean? So many greats have come from out of that school, or have come through that school.
Yeah.
Tashina Arnold, who started out at music and art, then ended up going to professional children's school. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then launching into where she is now. Doing movies and sitcoms and
Yeah.
and all types of stage plays and different things that
Yeah.
she's done in her career. So, and then you had Jennifer Anderson, who came through there, Seth
Mm-hmm.
Gilliam, who came through there. There's so many artists.
Yeah.
Lisa Arundel.
Mm.
It's like so many artists that came through there. Me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Victor Cook,
Yeah.
Jiffy, Anaya Day.
Mm-hmm.
You have Rosalind Brown. So many artists who are still doing it. You got
Yeah.
Broadway musical directors who are presently on Broadway right now that came through that school that
Yeah.
we know.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a great foundation. And
I never went there, but I was there every day playing hooky. And when you guys were there, that's when I started playing drums for the semi-annuals.
right,
Started
yeah,
playing for the semi-annuals with you guys, and then it went on to me coming up when Mr. Reverb, when he was still alive, he used to bring me in when I started writing songs. He started bringing me in to teach the chorus the gospel chorus songs, and it went from me playing to me teaching the choir songs and all that. And then once I got cool with Solomon, the school safety officer.
Oh yeah, that was it.
You remember Solomon? I would walk into school like I was one of y'all, and I would go to school, take attendance. My father and mother's watching this, so let me be careful what I say.
Yo, look, if they ain't whoop you then, they ain't gonna beat you now.
Yo, hey, because they can't catch me now. But I would go to my school, take attendance, and jump on the 1 train and go up to 66th Street, and I would be in LaGuardia all day long. And I mean, to the point where the faculty knew me, Miss Del Val.
They thought you was a student.
They thought I was a student. I was there so much. The cafeteria workers, we was in there playing spades all day, but it made lifelong relationships.
That's crazy.
And the crazy thing is that I look at all of us that were part of that system and part of that time. Thank God, a lot of us are doing good, man, and doing what we love to do.
I mean,
so it's a blessing.
Look at. We know we can name so many people, man. I just thought about Jules was there, Demetrius Griffin, Anisha, and Timothy Figueroa,
Cherub Ruth.
Cherub Ruth was there. I mean, it's like so many. Melanie Rochford.
Yeah.
I mean, it's boy. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
And these young ladies and young men are professionals.
Yeah.
And so that is like, what really gave us our launching pad.
Yeah.
And then it gave us versatility. Everybody, we learned a lot more than just to sing gospel. You know what I'm saying? We learned classical music. We learned how to read music. We learned how to phrase and interpret. We learned things about our vocal health and all of those different things. And it's like when you sit back and look at it and you see the platforms that A Nation, Timony, and
are you seeing the comments?
Huh?
Do you see the comments? Mommy's on here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I see.
I was a mess, but look at God. Let me give a shout out to everybody in the chat room. Maurice, my pops is in there. What's up, Dad? Pamela Peterson, Kamani Davis, Mom Marcella, we love you. Yeah, they all in there. So then after you go to LaGuardia, the next time the world saw you was on the Cosby Show. And a lot of y'all don't know, I was on the Cosby Show one time because of Maurice.
I remember that.
I think it was the episode when Vanessa snuck to the club.
Right. I remember that.
And we was extras at the club on the line and all that. And I never forget, I stole my sister Chanine's 8-ball jacket because I knew, and this I knew I was supposed to be in front of a camera. Back then, I said, I'm going to the Cosby Show with Maurice. I got to wear something that everybody will be able to identify that's Jason. And I had a bright yellow, black and red and white 8-ball jacket, and I stole it from her. She was so mad at me. I took her jacket and I wore it to the set. So whenever that show comes on, I'm like, there I go. Yeah. How did you end up on the Cosby Show, man?
Oh man, that was a great road. First, shout out to Tashina Arnold, my little sister. She pretty much broke me into the business as far as opportunity, because the first national television exposure that I had was on the soap opera Ryan's Hope.
Yes.
So
Ryan's Hope. Yeah.
Ryan's Hope started out, there was a writer's strike within SAG, the union. So it gave the artists more creativity.
Okay.
And so Tashina came up with this big idea. She was like, well, I'm an adopted child, on Ryan's Hope.
Right.
She was like, and I sing. She was like, how about we write a story about me singing in the Glee Club at my school? And I'll call 3 of my friends to sing and be a part of the Glee Club.
Okay.
Let me, if I can remember. Oh my God. I know it was Victor, Gina, myself, Tashina, and another brother. I can't remember his name right now. But we formed the Glee Club.
Oh, wow.
They liked me casting like me, and I ended up doing, which was supposed to be 2 appearances. I ended up with a reoccurring role, and I did 13 appearances.
Wow.
So I was just like, "Yo, this is great."
This is
So
it right here.
they kept calling me back, to do shows, and um, I was like, "Yo, this is crazy, man." Didn't know this was gonna happen, and so there I was, my first time on television, just going there to be, singing the Glee Club with Tashina and Victor and Gina and my other brother. Can't remember his name right now, but
Bring it back to him, Holy Ghost. Bring it back.
yeah,
Bring it back.
I don't know if that is going. I don't know, but I can't remember this. So he we did that, and then next thing you know, it turns into a reoccurring role. And so once that was done, I was going on auditions. I had what was that? Bonfire of the Vanities and some other things that
With
I
Bruce Willis.
did. Yeah, with Bruce Willis and Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
And so I filmed that.
Let me tell
Within
y'all
that.
something. When Maurice started getting all these roles, you couldn't tell us we wasn't famous. Let me tell you something. We saw Maurice on the Bonfire of the Vanity. I said, can't nobody tell. Me, Lauren, and Cedric was walking around like, oh, geez. He was like, yo, what's up? We here. And then mommy and her crazy self, she used to give us her car, that little gold.
The gold,
Tempo.
the tempo.
It was the
Yes.
Ford Tempo.
And
So
ain't none of y'all had license.
none of us have a license. And
we
mommy
had
would
an
give us
ID.
the car.
I was like, oh my God. So when that whole thing happened, she, I was watching, I was over, everybody in that time was a fan of the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
Cosby Show was like the show. Everybody watched Thursday night, 8 o'clock. Everybody's nailed to the Cosby Show.
Indeed.
It had that type of impact on society. And I said to my manager, Terry Saperstein, which was Tashina's manager and Victor's manager, that's how I started getting out on auditions. They introduced me to her, and she started sending me out on auditions. So I said to her one day, I said, I want to be on the Cosby Show. I said, you need to get me an audition for the Cosby Show. That's what I want to be on. And so she said, okay, well, if anything comes in, that fits you, Maurice, we'll send you out. I said, all right, cool. And so meanwhile, I'm going, what was that? America's Most Wanted. I did an episode of that in Brooklyn. That was crazy because it was like, oh my God. And so one day I was on an audition, which I didn't get. And she calls me. She says, Maurice, guess what? I said, what? She said, I got an audition for you for the Cosby Show. I said, word? She's like, yeah. And she was like, it's tomorrow. I'm already in Manhattan,
Right.
going on another audition. And then so she says, okay, yeah, tomorrow at such and such a time. And let me tell you how this was God's ordained time for me. When I walked in, I would always, like, you look at the credits when you watch the Cosby Show and you see who's doing the casting. And so there's a casting agency that was attached to them was Moss, M-O-S-S. Moss Agency, Bill Moss Agency. I think it was Bill or Bobby Moss. Anyway, when I walked in the door, Jason, I turned the corner like this. And as soon as the guy saw me, he says, you're the type we're looking for.
Wow.
I don't know, because I was heavy set, whatever. I didn't care at that point. He said I was the type he's looking for. I don't care if I was 400 pounds. I was like, yo.
Like, bless you.
I was like, word? And so there were a couple other people in the lobby. And so I go in. He was like, we're going to work with you. And so I read the script. And then I think it was the next day, or was it the same day? It might have been the same day. They sent us a car, and we went out to Kaufman Studios, and we did the thing again. We met the agencies there. We met the writers there, and it was maybe 2 days later. She was like, "You booked it." I was like, "Word?"
Wow.
So I was like, "Oh man!" But the thing that was crazy about it I did a double episode, and then I did 3 more episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So I did 5 episodes on the Cosby Show, which would consider you a reoccurring role. So they,
Right.
they write you in, you come back. And in the middle of all that, I had another audition for Black Nativity.
Mm-hmm.
I go to get this audition. They hire me for Black Nativity. So when I wasn't on stage, when I wasn't working on the Cosby Show filming, I was in rehearsals for Black Nativity. So
Mm-hmm.
Black Nativity opens up. Come to find out, Felicia Rashad is on the board of directors of the Black Nativity play.
Wow.
She comes in, we open the curtains and start singing, and she was like, she said, "That's big fella. That's Maurice." He was like, "He can sing? Oh my God." So she runs back and she tells Bill Cosby.
Mm.
And, I didn't know all of this stuff.
Right.
So I come back, they write me in. I do a scene, I do a show with Terrence Howard.
Mm-hmm.
We do a show together. We do an episode together. And then my last episode, which was one I'll never forget, we come back, they write us in again. Then we do that show called For Men Only. And that's when that morning in rehearsals, Bill Cosby was like, he said, "Hey, Maurice, he pulled me to the side.
Uh-huh.
He says, "Hey, the show is not flowing the way I want it to flow. You think you can sing on the show today?"
Wow.
And I was like, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He says, "I want you to sing on the show today." And he was like, "I want you, whatever song you choose, I want you to give it to production so we can get it cleared and you can sing on the show today."
Wow.
And I'm sitting over there like, all of my insides going like this.
I could
I'm like,
imagine.
oh my God. I was like, this man is about to have me sing in front of the world.
Crazy.
Never forget it. And the thing that was so crazy about it was later on, I learned that I made history that day because I was the first person to ever sing contemporary gospel on that show.
Oh, wow.
The first person.
Wow.
The crazy thing about that was the next day, Friday, I went to see Gerald and them play with God at Madison Square Garden.
Right.
The day after it aired, me, you know me. I'm just like, I'm working. I mean,
Right.
I ain't trying to be no star. It just so happens I'm on TV. You know what I mean? So it's like that's been my attitude. It's like, yo, I'm glad to get the checks. I'm glad, but you never know me to be like this dude. It's like, yo, I'm on the show, man. Nah. Because so I go into Madison Square Garden and I look around, everybody's staring at me. They're like, yo, that's the dude. Yo, that's the dude. He was on the show last night. And so I'm sitting there like this, like, oh, snap. You don't really realize how big that show is until you get that type of attention.
Yeah.
And guy walks up to me, he was like, yo, man, I'm best friends with Fred Hammond. He was like, I saw you on the show last night and I heard the commission song that you sang and yada, 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 da, da, da. He says, yo, I'm calling Fred and tell him I met you, man. And he said, we going to call you. Give me your number. I'm going to get Fred on the phone. We going to call you. I said, yeah, okay. So, I mean, sometimes you be like, yeah, okay, all right, whatever.
Convention talk.
Right. And so I gave my number. I want to say maybe 4 days later, he calls me. He says, Maurice, this is Mike. You met me at the Madison Square Garden. I was like, yeah. He said, I got Fred on the phone. And Fred was like, hey, what's up, Mo? And I was like, oh, snap. So Fred Hammond is on my phone. I'm sitting there smiling like crazy because we who wasn't a commission fan back then.
Right.
And so he said, thank you so much, for singing our song.
Right.
And I was like, he said, you don't know what that meant to me. And just commission, period. He was like, my daughter was yelling, daddy, 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 come in. Somebody's singing on TV. Somebody's singing on TV. And he said, it took me like 2 seconds to realize that you were singing one of our songs.
Wow.
And he was like, man, and he said, you don't know, I was going through some stuff at that point. And he was like, yo, that was a blessing to me. And I was like, wow. And I said, hey, man, you guys are one of my favorites. And so right now, we still talk from time to time, and say what's up to each other and everything like that.
How did you feel when Mr. Cosby was going through the whole trial, man? What was your thoughts when he was going through that whole situation?
I felt bad, I felt bad for him. I felt bad for the offended. And then my thing is like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And everybody says, well, there's so many people that said the same thing. It has to be true. And then I thought about, I think about, us as individuals, and being men of God. It's like, how would it be, or how would we like it if we were on this platform and then exposed to this type of scrutiny in society? But then I thought about it, and I just prayed for him, because I mean, if it's true, it sucks, man.
Yeah.
Because being on that platform like that, anything come out. I mean, it's exposed in such a magnitude that it's like, you can't ever bounce back. People think you can't.
Yeah.
But I thought, and I said, I thought about, and I honored him during the Black History Month. And some people probably thought I was crazy, because it's like, how you gonna recognize someone in this light, in Black History Month, and this guy's been accused of molesting and raping ladies and things like that. And I was like, I had to think of this, not in a negative sense, but I had thought about the opportunity that he gave me to expose me to so many with the gift that God has given me. I didn't want to think ill about him at that point.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I looked at every accuser and every person. If their darkest secrets were ever exposed on a canvas for the world to see, we would have to go somewhere where there was no zip code, never to be heard of or found again.
Yeah.
All of us included. I mean, there are things that we've done and gone through in life and things like that we would never want people to know. But I mean, things happen in life where you are judged. We're in a world where people are going to judge you, and they don't care about what they may have done. It ain't about them at this point. It's about us tearing you to pieces.
It's your turn.
It's your turn.
And life is a table. Everybody gets a turn. So one of the things that I've learned to do is whenever, and I just had this conversation with one of my members yesterday. I said, we have to be careful not to become overly judgmental, because when it comes to restoring and forgiveness, that's the only time in scripture where we see God following man. When we pray that prayer, forgive us our debtors as we forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. That's basically you saying to God, do to me what I've done to Maurice when Maurice has offended me when I offend you. So God is just basically looking to see, how do you restore people?
Right.
How do you handle when 10,000% that you are dead wrong?
Yeah.
How do you want me to handle you based upon how you handle your brother or sister?
Exactly.
So, that's how I looked at it, man. I said the same thing. I said, man, I had the picture with me, you, him, and Said and Lauren. And
you gotta send me that picture, man. I don't have none of them pictures.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I wanted to post it, and something inside me was like, nah, you can't post it now. But I posted it anyway, because all of us are guilty of something.
Right.
And it doesn't justify the guilt, but I'm very careful in how I throw people away and just say that's it for them, because God got some hardcore evidence on me, brother.
Right.
Hardcore. I mean, and if some of that stuff got out, I would go where there's no zip code, Jack. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be right there next door, Jack.
You know what I mean? But in grace and mercy, creates a new level of compassion in me
Mhm.
as I get older and as I grow in him.
Yeah.
So, I told my member last night, I said, what we all need to do is just shut up and pray.
Yeah, because when you look at it like this, man, especially for Christians, when people are so easy to point the finger and so easy to bust somebody else down,
Hmm.
is when you see a person who has forgotten how much they've been forgiven.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that when you see people that's like, yeah,
Hmm.
just always leaning, but they got their elbow in your neck because they feel like they on straight street.
Hmm.
They really have forgotten how much they've been forgiven.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's why I love people, you know what I'm saying? And if I got a problem with people and people kind of stir Maurice's character another way, you know what I do? I
Deuces. I told my church that yesterday. I said, you need to turn around
leave him
and say
alone.
bye-bye to some people, man, because it's just not worth the serenity of your peace. It's not worth it.
No, it's
You
not.
know?
And that's the thing, man. You just got to know how to love people, man, and keep it moving and genuinely love them. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It means you got to be hanging out with them and breaking bread and all
that's
that. You
it.
just genuinely love them
That's it.
and just keep it moving
My
because.
pop said he got pictures of us when we did a show with the Weather Girls.
Oh
You remember
wow,
that?
yeah. At
It's
Sweetwater's, right?
raining, man. Yeah.
Sweetwater's, never forget it.
Yo, I'm telling you, God has really blessed us to do some amazing things. When I sit down and I look at, I got these plaques on my wall and stuff of some of the stuff that I've done. I don't even have enough space to put up all the albums that I've played on or wrote on. It's crazy the life that we have lived, Mo, and are still living. And after all of that, you end up on the Tyler Perry play. How in the
Yeah.
world did that happen?
Another that's I mean, every my wife said to me one day, she was like, man, she said, what's so amazing about, your career and opportunities? She said, everything that you've done, God has always made a way for it to happen. And I was saying something to someone the other day, I guess where I work at Amazon. I was telling them, I said, process is not always a bad thing.
Mm.
Being in the middle of process is not always a bad thing. I said, because what happens in process is it prepares you for what is next. Because if you're not being processed, you won't even know the value that you have in the midst of everything.
Wow.
And then you won't forget who is in control of it all. And so I was like, I looked at, just started just reflecting on things. And I was just like saying, you're right. She was like, you never really had to go hard
Mm-hmm.
when it came down to that next move that God wanted you to do,
Right.
that God had prepared for you. You were in the process of things and it didn't feel good. It didn't look good. I mean, people be looking at you like, oh man, wow, we saw you here and now you here. And then we saw you here and now you're here. And I'm like saying, but it's a process.
Yeah.
It's a process of where God is taking me to. And I often share that with people. And what happened with that whole thing, and I never forget this, when God told us to move to North Carolina almost 11 years ago, we drove down, we packed up our stuff, we drove. My wife shared with my oldest son, Todd. She said, the Lord is moving, telling us to move down to North Carolina. He had just graduated high school. She was like, you're more than welcome to come and live with us there and go to college and stuff like that. He said, no, no. He said, God told y'all to
Good
move,
job.
not me.
Right. Right.
So he stayed in Brooklyn
Uh-huh.
and we got our U-Haul and we got in there and we packed all our stuff up and we cut out.
Mm.
And not long after that, I was traveling back and forth because, I was doing the wedding gig stuff,
Right. Mm-hmm.
singing, and, that's how I was making my money,
Yeah.
doing the security at night.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went from doing security at night and doing the wedding gigs and security at night, both at the same time. Then I just stopped doing the security and then started going straight into the thing. But for a long time, I was doing both. And we got hired by BB Winans to do Maya Angelou's 80th birthday party.
Okay.
I met Tyler Perry that year before I moved down to Raleigh. And so he was moving, and I said, you know what? I need to meet this dude.
Mm-hmm.
And he was moving. Everything was going on because there was a lot going on at that party. And he said, come on, man, let's take the picture. I said, I've been looking to meet you. He just brushed me, took the picture, brushed me off real quick, and just kept going. So I was like, all right, I'm going to meet this dude. And then came back. Lord told us to move. We drove down to Raleigh. We moved. Renting houses and stuff like that, paying rent late every month. I mean, not at the first of the month, maybe the 28th.
Mm.
And then the car that we drove down there was repossessed. And I was just like, yo, this is crazy. Because it's the season changed, and then there was no wedding gigs. And then,
Mm-hmm.
money was just backing up. Then I was like, so I was in the garage cutting my homeboy's hair, and my phone rings. Now, my car had been repossessed. I brought a $600 car from a neighbor for us to get around.
Right.
A 1992 Toyota Celica.
Mm.
Tight, Jack. It was tighter than the nuts behind, boy. I'm telling you. We was riding
Can of sardines.
Right. We was riding down in that car, man. Me, my wife, and Maurice and Faith, like this. And I said, man, came down with a nice old Jeep, whatnot. And so my boy called me. He was like, yo, what's up, Mo? I said, man, I'm chilling, man. I said, I need about $5,000. He said, man, he started laughing. He's like, he said, $5,000. He said, I ain't giving you no $5,000. He said, but I'm calling you with an opportunity.
Yeah.
And what happened was that was my prayer. Specifically.
Wow.
I said, Lord, after my car was repossessed, I said, Lord, I need an opportunity. I said, I have this gift. I said, I need an opportunity, and I want to work with this person for 6 years.
Wow.
Just like that. A couple of weeks later, he calls me. He said, Maurice, he was like, yo, they looking for somebody to play the father in this Christmas play. He said, and I told him about you. And this is one thing that, out of everything he said, that I was honored by him saying this. He said to production, the guy who assists Tyler Perry, right-hand man, he said, y'all need to hear this guy. He said, not only can he sing, he said, but he's a good person. Out of everything he said, that's what I heard.
Wow.
Reputation.
Yes.
Your name.
I don't want to move from there, man, because you said something that I got to tell you. When I first saw you at your job that you're doing now, it took my level of respect for you to a whole nother level. Number one, because people that are in this industry like us know you have some high seasons, then you hit some mid waves where things are kind of flowing, then you hit rock bottom where ain't nobody calling, no gigs coming in, nothing. And I'll be transparent real quick, because you go on live with your Amazon shirt while you're in the truck and all that. And I was just like, yo, this dude ain't embarrassed. He's providing for his family. Salute. Nobody can be mad at him. Because when I hit that spot, man, I started doing Instacart. I was working Instacart. Then I didn't tell nobody. My church didn't know. Only one that knew was my family. I was doing Instacart. Then I started doing DoorDash. Then I started doing Grubhub. And I'm saying all this because people need to understand process. Sometimes the purpose of process is to kill pride.
Yep.
Because here I am, I'm pastoring. My church is growing. I got albums out, all this. And I'm going to McDonald's to pick up a number 2 for somebody at 11 o'clock at night just to pay the bills. And I never complained. But what I would do is, if somebody's name came up on my phone that I knew, I would go pick up the food and throw it out. And I would never make the delivery. So I'm out. I'm working till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, man, every night, bro. I
Yeah.
would go out at 8 o'clock, especially when I started doing Grubhub, because the money was crazy. I was like, yo, y'all, these people might laugh, but I'm getting a nice bag.
Right.
I'm making almost $250 a night, $300 a night from
Yeah.
8 till 4 in the morning. Every day, I'm just out there in the streets doing it. Still going to preach, still going. But what it did was it created some type of stick-to-itiveness in me, and it killed my pride, because no one can look at a man that's doing something honest to provide for his family
Right.
and not call you a man. I don't
Right.
care what it is you're doing. If you
Right.
got to sweep, you taking out garbage, whatever. So when I saw you with your Amazon shirt on, I was ready to go get a job at Amazon. I said, later for that. My brother on there, but thank God, things are a little better for us now. But, I think that speaks volumes of who you are
Yeah.
as a man. Like that was powerful.
You have you have to get to the point to where it's like, first of all, you come to a reality. It's like, yo, you can't sit around and wait for a phone call.
Yeah.
Because like Daddy used to say, when we say, hey man, what's going on? He said, nothing but the rent and the mortgage. So we laugh at that joint, right? But
Yeah.
it is consistent.
Yeah.
That rent and the mortgage
Every 30 days.
consistently comes
Every
every
30.
month, every 30 days. Your
Yeah.
light bill, your car notes, your this, your that, everything. And so I had to come to the realization is this, I have to do what I need to do. And I take pictures. This is what doing what I need to do have to look like. This
Yeah.
is what, and then I go in and I start singing songs while I'm in my van.
Mm-hmm.
I start singing, and then while I'm delivering packages, I'm saying, God, thank you that you're preparing another door for me. There's
Yeah.
opportunities opening up for me. I know, Lord, thank you. I'm declaring every day. I know this may be my last week doing this because you're opening up a door. Surely goodness and mercy is following me all the days of my life. I'm speaking all this stuff. I feel like sometimes it's like even when I fell and bust my leg open on the job, I got up bloody. But I was like, yes, God, I thank you. I still believe that you're making ways. I still believe that opportunities are opening up for me. So we have to continue. It doesn't matter, because my thing is this. People can look at you. You take a person that's full of pride, which is a foolish thing to do,
Right.
and
Absolutely.
go under
Yes.
and not take care of their family, take care of themselves, and they rather go under because of the platforms that they've been in, and they cannot maintain because now COVID happened. You had a year where everything shut down. Broadway shuts down.
That was crazy.
Broadway,
That was
where
crazy.
people consistently work week after week after
Yeah.
week, month after month, year after year, and it shuts down.
Yeah.
So that means it's like, yo, your business now is headlocked. You got to figure out another way to do it.
Yeah.
And after you had that conversation with your wife, and she said, look,
look here, brother.
I don't know who you waiting for to call
Right.
you, but the water's rising, the temperature's
Yeah.
rising.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you put away all those things and you go and you do what you have to do in the meantime. And that's why I don't despise the time and the seasons of being processed, because when that next production comes, which will, that's in the work, then you sit there and you be like, yo, last year this dude had on that daggone turquoise silver, the reflections in the Amazon Smile shirt.
Now look at him.
Now we watching them on Hulu or Netflix or whatever.
Yeah.
But who could say who will you be able to say hang in there?
Yeah.
Who will you be able to encourage who's in this business to do what you need to do in this time? Every one of my friends who have reached levels far beyond mine can say, we stood outside at Naked Lunch, at Life, at what Lucky Strike with Man when he was working security at night.
Yes.
And then the day I go in there and he did a commercial with Robert De Niro.
Mm-hmm.
But the week after that, he filmed that commercial. He was back at Naked Lunch doing
Yeah.
security.
Yeah.
Because then this is for all the brothers out there who are in the business or who are not in the business. We have a responsibility to take care of our wives and our children, our family.
Yeah.
We were built for this.
Yeah.
Only somebody who's not willing to do it, who's made a decision to watch their wives go out and grind and sit there and say, well, I got this dream. Come on.
Nah.
Yeah, nah. Get up. And we get this from our fathers.
Yeah.
We get this from our grandfathers.
Yeah.
That gave us put that character in us to go out there and work, do what we need to do, be strong men. And those are the things that I implied with you all. You, Lauren, Cedric, Tommy, all the guys who are around us that are younger than me. If I didn't teach y'all nothing else, and I tell people all day, I didn't teach y'all all good stuff. Y'all didn't get all the good stuff from me.
But that's all we're gonna talk about today.
We'll talk. Yeah. But the thing is, we keeping it 100.
Right.
The thing is that ain't none of, and I'll say this, and we'll say this on the line. Ain't none of my brothers punks. Nope. Ain't none of them no suckers. You ain't talking to us any kind of way because we got that right from Cadoza Norris.
That's right.
He said to us several times, I'll come get you out of jail.
Yeah.
If Nick ain't pay you your money.
That's right.
He said, or if somebody messing with y'all.
That's right.
And so if you fighting one, you got 3, 4 other dudes you gotta fight, you gotta scrap with.
That's right.
We tell a story all day long. Yeah. Lauren, y'all will call me to come to the service.
Yeah.
Because some other cat said something.
Yeah.
And I had to straighten out, and we ain't gonna mention his name.
Yeah.
But we had to straighten out a cat one day.
Yeah.
Give him a little word of wisdom, a word of warning,
word of caution.
A word of caution. Don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, and then after that, Lauren, Jason, they can walk around like shit. Anybody saying nothing to me? Yeah. Because we already made it. We already set the precedence. Like, yo, these guys right here is off limits. Y'all can talk to these other cats any kind of way. And for, as far as I'm concerned, everybody deserves respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't care what your title is. I don't care how many people wait on you. I don't care how many people carry your bags. Yeah. Every man that is a man deserves a level of respect.
Yeah. Period. And you drilled that into us. And I think that's another reason why, along with our parents, God strategically placed certain people in our lives that were going to be instrumental in developing us for where we were going. Because that whole piece, and I mean, somebody really needs to hear that, because a lot of these, especially these young cats, they got this full-time ministry thing, and they want to do all this and that. Sometimes you got to remember that every disciple that Jesus found, he found them working.
Yep.
He found
professionals,
them with professionals. They had jobs, they had businesses. These wasn't no lazy cats. And he told them, stop what you're doing, follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men. Right. Meaning that once you get on this side, the work don't stop. You still got to work. You still need that character. You still need that integrity. But it was because what attracted Jesus to these guys was their work ethics, their ability to keep going and doing. And that's when, one thing that people got to look at you now, Maurice, and say, you know what? Because I'm telling you, when the first time I saw the video with your Amazon shirt, I said, now, wait a minute, what's happening? What's going on here? I said, what is this? What? But then I started listening to you talk, and it hit me. I was like, he's showing us the process. And that's so dope, because people think, you just get to this plateau and they don't ever understand the in-between.
Right.
of what it takes to get there, and when you get there, how to work that room, because that's what mess a lot of cats up too. They get to that level and don't know how to work that room because they don't have no work ethics.
And it's crazy because you don't know until you get there why you're there.
Yeah. Say
There's
that again.
so
Say that again.
You don't know until you get there why you're there.
Mm.
It's always a purpose of why you end up somewhere. And when I put on that Amazon joint, and I was like, Lord, I said, people probably will notice me out here. And it was crazy. It took a couple of conversations, and people were like, you,
Right.
you, I
Yeah.
can't, I can't place it right now,
Right.
but I swear you look like. And then the person's friend I knew
Mm.
because he plays the guitar
Okay.
and he's dope. And she was like, he was talking about you, such and such and such and such and such and such, and you here. Oh my God. You know, and the young men that I'm pouring into and encouraging. And young guy just hugged me the other day. I was just like, he lost his grandfather.
Mm.
And I said, I know how you feel.
Wow.
And he just hugged me. He was just like, yo, thank you, man. Thank you, man. You know, thank you for your words. Thank you for praying for me. So you don't know why you're there until you're there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And,
And so we don't despise these days. You know, yeah, okay. I don't know. I may be there for a year. I may be there for 6 months. Who knows? But
but let me tell
while
you
I'm
something.
there,
Amazon ain't a bad job though.
it's a hard one though, Doc.
It's hard
Okay.
because let me tell you, I signed up for Amazon Flex, right? And so is that what you're doing? You doing Flex?
I'm driving the van.
Okay, so with Amazon Flex, you use your own vehicle.
I know.
So when I my first day on at Amazon, I think, and this was so crazy. This is why I was battling with my pride. I was doing Amazon with a Mercedes Benz.
Mm-hmm.
I had my Benz, so I had the little. I think it was the CLA 250,
Mm-hmm.
the little sports one. So I'm pulling up to the joint, and you know how they have the pilots put together, and they
Mm-hmm.
got them by area code. I didn't know that. So I get there, Maurice. I take all the boxes out and just start throwing them in my car. So what was supposed to be a 4-hour shift turned into a 9-hour shift because every stop I made, I had
You
to
were looking
dig
for
through the
stuff.
car instead of just organizing it by pallet. I
Yeah.
didn't know none of that. So again, man, I think that this type of testimony is so needed because especially for
Yeah.
black men need to know that hard work always works.
Right.
You don't lose when you work hard. I don't
Yeah.
care. I don't care what nobody say. Hard work works.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
It
You know what I
works.
mean?
And
Period.
you benefit at the end of the day. You may not realize it. Because shoot, trust me, there are mornings where I get up and I'm like, especially after working 2 or 3 days, and it's like your body's aching and it's
Mhm.
hurting, and you spraying all kinds of biofreeze and all stuff, because you got shoulders, knees,
Yeah.
back, everything, because you're using your whole body for like 6, 7 hours,
Yeah.
and you have 100 and something stops, 273 bags that or boxes and things that you load your own van with.
Yeah.
And I told people, and when you over 50 years old, this ain't the job for you, Jack, unless you just like, son,
You ain't got no option. You know what I'm
you
saying?
got to be in some kind of shape
Yeah.
in order to sustain that type of work for 4 days for 10 hours a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got, I mean, you
Speaking
know,
of, you look like you about my size now. How you losing all this weight, bro? I see you on the bike. Look like me and you could go shopping together now.
we probably can, man. I mean, this was, I was, you know, like I said, when you get above 50 and everything, you want to take care of yourself. I went to the doctor in February and I was 291.
Mm.
And The doctor said, you're borderline diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay. I said, that's all I'm going to be,
That's all I need to hear.
is borderline diabetic. And
Yeah.
then what happens, I started walking like over 20 miles a week.
Mm.
I just started walking. And then I was go to the gym, I'd lift, and then ride my bike to there and back to just like 2 miles. And then I would hit the trails and do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 miles.
Mm.
Come on back. But most of the stuff was walking. And then I got my wife involved to be, an accountability partner. And
Mm.
it turned into a prayer walk. So we would be
Mm.
praying for our ministry, praying for our family, praying for our children, praying for you guys, our
Yeah.
brothers and sisters in ministry, covering people. And we just walk, 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 walk. Next thing you know, we have our thing, boom, 5 miles, boom, 5.5 miles, boom,
Wow.
6.7 miles. And we're just walking, walking every day. Then at that point, I'm midway into shedding. I get to the daggone Amazon. I had gotten down the lowest I got down to was from 291 in February.
Mm.
Here we are in September. The last time I went to the doctor, I was 241.
Wow. That's great.
So I went from 2X shirts to extra large shirts
Yes. Yes, sir.
to 36 waist, 46 jackets.
Nice.
Because my shoulders are broad.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing gonna happen with that too
Yeah.
much. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
everything else in between can be shut down. But
I definitely can come shopping in your closet now.
yeah, I got a 17-inch neck. I
Come
couldn't
on, God.
believe
We the same. We the same size, Reverend.
I could not believe 17-inch neck. I was like, oh my God. I said I
That's
always had
crazy.
a 20-inch neck.
Yo, your neck was like this, bro. Like
It,
humongous.
it
The
was too
broad
big.
shoulders.
Yeah. So it's like people now be like, yeah, we could take you now. And I'd be like, try
Nah, let me tell you something. I didn't think it then, and I still
it.
there's a picture, and I'm gonna put it up today. Me and Maurice are boxing in front of Daddy's house, and he just threw a punch, and I reacted like he hit me. That picture made me scared of you. I was like, no, I'm looking at the velocity of, and it's a still picture, but in my mind, I'm like, yo, if this guy was to really hit me, I would be into next week. And so I don't care how much weight you lose. I didn't try you then. I ain't gonna try you now. I
Ken,
believe.
Kenny Farasho still thinks he could beat me.
Kenny Farracho couldn't beat none of us. None of us. He couldn't beat none of us. He was some kung fu master. I said, Kenny, cut it out.
Please.
Jive turkey. but it's crazy that 3 of us out the crew are pastoring now. And who would have thought, man?
Yeah, Lauren's a low key pastor too. On the down low. He pastors the musicians.
Yeah,
and everybody
absolutely.
else.
Absolutely. That's
but I mean, being like we said, like the scripture, like you mentioned, follow me.
Yeah.
I'll make you fishers of men.
Yeah.
And one thing that we all have in common is characters and personalities that are magnets.
Mm-hmm.
People gravitate to us because of our humor, our anointing, our talents,
our good looks. But go ahead.
Our good looks. And just being genuine people.
Yes,
you
sir.
know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And I we get that the more that we have gotten to be in communion with God, it becomes more and more, that anointing and that oil becomes more and more appealing to people, to where they're like, yo, it's just something different about these guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was different about us when we were younger.
Yeah.
We would be amongst a lot of people, but it was always something peculiar or something different about us.
Always stood out.
Always stood out. You know what I mean? And not to boast, we lay in the cut. That's how we work.
Yeah.
We lay in the cut. We stay under the radar. We do what we do. You know what I'm saying? And we go home, we go eat, we go have fun. And that was it. And we do it all over again.
Yeah.
But it was all and a purpose. Now we know
Yeah.
why we all those different things in different areas of life where we've been. Now we know why. Because now if we're going to minister and serve people, we have to have something genuinely to tell them what we've experienced.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
that coincides and lines up with the gospel.
Mm-hmm.
That they'll see the truth in our natural sense of
Mm-hmm.
life, and
Mm-hmm.
we line it up with the word of the Lord, the grace of God that delivers these people. Because now it's not just coming from my mouth, it's coming from the mouth that is coming from God's mouth, from our mouths to your ears and to your
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah.
But we're speaking to you through the Spirit of God and
Mm-hmm.
through our what we've experienced.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a difference
Big
when
difference.
you've experienced something
Yeah. Yeah.
and say, hey, I know what you feel.
Yeah. Experience overrides theory any day.
Yeah,
Any day. And
any day. You
what's
know.
from the heart touches the heart, man. And that's one thing, we were kind of raised to do, is to be integral and speak straight. When we talk to cats, we look them in the eye, firm handshakes, all that. This speaks volumes. And I'm just looking back and I'm taking all these lessons now. I'm teaching my grandson, Ason, the same thing, man. I'm like, yo, look at me when I talk to you. Look a
Mhm.
man straight in the face. I told him the other day, I said, anybody that don't look you in the face when they talking to you, don't trust them.
Right.
There's something shaky about them. And these are lessons that we learned from when we was little cats, you know what I'm saying? And I find that to be true. I don't trust people that don't look at me. If you looking all around and what's the problem?
Right.
What's wrong? Look at me in my face. Talk to me here. And so I can kind of read your spirit and see, I'm not wasting my time with somebody that don't mean me no good, man. But Maurice, man, you are and have always been a amazing big brother to me, man. And I thank God for you saying yes to God, man, because you kept us out of a lot of trouble. We got in trouble, but
Mhm.
if we wasn't around you, I know it'd been a lot worse. So, thank you, man. And me, Lauren, and Cedric, we all got to take you out one day, man. We owe you dinner. We got to take you out and just pay homage to you, man, and just celebrate you for what you have done for us. And it's crazy because I was just telling one of my team members, I was like, man, 2 days in a row, two grown men that are my boys called me crying, thanking God for what I've become in their lives.
Mhm.
And I mean, stuff like that. I'm just like, wow, you never know who you're making a difference to,
Right.
who you making a difference in their lives just by being who God called you to be. So
Right.
Maurice, man, we salute you. And I tell you, bro, don't stop. Don't give up. You will always be a star to me. You always be someone that I will hold in high esteem and high honor because you're just that cat to me, man. So thank you, brother.
I'm
Thank you.
honored, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate it, and I'll do
yeah.
it. I will continue to be that as long as you need me to.
Well, that's till God tag our toes, brother. You
That's
stuck
it.
with me. You can't get rid of me if you wanted to.
Nah, I ain't trying to get rid of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And one of these days, um, me and Maurice, we did one song together already on my first album, but we gotta get something new out now.
Yeah.
And we didn't even touch on that. You got some new music coming out,
Yeah, I will. You know what I'm doing? I have remixed "Can't Live Without You," and I'm
and I heard it, y'all. It's sick, 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 crazy.
I'm gonna I got to get in touch with David. I got to send him some stuff because we're trying to get two versions of the remix out, and
David who?
also
David Caton or
David from in
from
Germany.
from oh David Tobin.
David
Yeah,
Tolan. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I got to get back with him. And I'm also planning to do a EP in honor of Daddy, a jazz hymn EP. Um,
Nice.
I'm connecting with Lauren and Shedrick Mitchell, Nat Townsley, and Michael Gale, just a couple of different guys that knew Daddy. and that are also brothers of mine that I know who will do it out of the genuineness of their heart and also
Yeah.
get paid. But
Yeah.
you know,
I'm gonna come
um,
play. I'm gonna come play tambourine on it or something.
yeah, man. I mean, shoot, you know, you might be come and help me arrange some of these hymns and stuff with
Yeah,
some
man.
harmonies and things like that.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, because I think that Daddy would definitely love it. I mean, and it's all about just, you know, he passed away. I believe it was the 25th of November last year. It was right before
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving,
Yeah. Yeah.
the day before. And so I want to put out come Sunday.
Hmm.
I'm going to get with Shedrick. I may have to take a trip up there, and maybe you can connect me with your videologist
Yeah.
to do a video and
Hmm.
record the song, you know, live and do something really, really, really nice with that, and you know, maybe put it out uh, around Thanksgiving and do a video, and maybe blast it up on YouTube
Yeah, that'd be great,
or
man.
on Instagram, and you know, just pay honor to Daddy and all, you know, Uncle Al and Aunt
Yeah.
Harriet, all of them that
Yeah.
passed
Yeah.
on in
Yeah.
memory of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That'd be amazing, man. So if somebody wants to get in contact with you, man, we got to do a part 2 because we ain't talking about the church. We got to get into the music piece.
yeah,
But I really wanted to touch on that work ethic piece because that really blessed me, and it felt good to know that I wasn't doing it wrong because
mhm.
my pride wanted me to keep waiting on them phone calls, but
Yeah,
my
yeah. I
pocket
mean,
my pocket
it's
was like, nah, brother.
it's a struggle. I mean, it
Yeah,
is a struggle because you're out of pocket at that point. You feel
yeah,
like you're out of pocket. You feel like,
hmm,
yo, this is not what I'm meant to do.
yeah,
But this is what you need to do in the meantime because there's an assignment for us.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? There's an assignment. So once we get through that season of processing, and God knows that we're ready for that next thing. The next thing that we do, Jason, we you know is going to be that thing that financially secures us.
hmm.
You know what I'm
I believe
saying?
that. I believe that. Yes,
You
sir.
know, that's what God is really preparing us for. Because like, you know, we we've been out here getting those other things,
Yeah,
and we still was out here skating on thin ice.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, I
yes,
really
sir.
want to bless you with that thing that really secures you and your family.
Yeah,
You know, but there's some more stability that I have to build up in you.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Some more character building and stuff like that.
hmm,
Some security within yourself. And, you know, and so, you know, when you start looking at those things, you allow God to continue to build you.
yeah,
You know, only them dudes that just want to get out there and just do some blah blah blah, and then they fight against that real simplicity of just that simple thing of life.
yeah,
And it's just like we always thinking extravagant,
yeah,
but it's those simple things
hmm,
that cause us to be rich.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
You know, those things, man. And that's, you know, a, $1 million for you would be something like, whoa.
mhm.
Somebody else, $1 million for them be like, that's a little something.
Right, right,
$500,000 for us could be like, yo, whew, I
yeah,
never had that in my bank account before.
right,
So that might be something great. But $500,000, somebody else to say that ain't enough.
right,
But when God gives it to you, you did it. You can figure you with wisdom can multiply it.
absolutely.
It can multiply. You know, I'm just like, hey man, I'm here for it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, man, just keep doing what you're doing, man. Be encouraged, and please give my love to Alicia and all the kids.
I
And
will.
we y'all, we gotta bring his wife on here because she's a powerful woman of God.
We got to get down to New York City, to Brooklyn.
Let me tell you something. I don't. Let me tell you something. I don't even laugh around Alicia too much. I don't even laugh because I'm like, Lord, she gonna pick up something in the Holy Ghost.
No.
I'm like, let me just sit here and just be quiet. No, but I respect you guys, and I think what you guys are doing is amazing. And if anybody wants to contact you, Maurice,
Yeah.
and book you for something, like
Hmm.
how do they do that?
Um. Well, you can do. Alicia is taking all of my business inquiries at this point. So it's her email address is a Lauchner and the number 8 at gmail.com. A Lauchner number 8 at gmail.com. And all of my social media tags are Maurice Lauchner or Maurice Man Lauchner, which is my follow page, like and follow page. And on Instagram, it's Maurice Lauchner. Free Ministries is uh, our ministry page on Facebook. Free Ministries.
And when do you guys have service? When you guys
We
on
we come
streaming?
on Sundays at 10 a.m.
Okay.
and scheduled Wednesdays at 8 a.m. on
Okay.
Wednesdays.
So we
Yeah,
have service at the same time. So, but I'm gonna
yeah,
come back. I'm gonna come back and watch, because I watched a couple of your services, and I
yeah,
love the way that y'all work together.
yeah.
Uh,
We got a lot. We got slack from that too because a lot of people. Of course, the norm is that the man does most all of the preaching or most of it,
uh,
not most of it. And I was like, I said I got a couple of phone calls. Some people said a woman should be silent in the church. One person was like,
that's
um,
somebody with an empty church. Trust me.
they don't. They're not even in the ministry. But so it's like I said, okay. And then it took them 3 minutes to think about what they said as far as the scripture,
Mhm.
and called me back and said, I'm sorry, I should have never said that to you. God bless you in your ministry.
Yeah,
And my thing is that when you operate the way God wants you to do it,
it
the
works.
way God, and when you allow God, the Lord, to build a house,
Hmm.
you know, then you will see the growth and the prosperity of it.
Yeah,
All that other stuff, what is normal, I don't have. There's no insecurity. And then the crazy thing, and I'm be honest, and I said share this with Alicia. I said when we first began, I said it started to mess with me. It started
hmm
to some insecurities. It started to happen. But then once I spoke to her, and this is for all the guys who have wives or who are in ministry, and they are the primary preacher.
hmm
Look at how God has used you in other areas.
right,
Don't be insecure about how God uses you in other areas, because the fullness of everything
right.
is in the obedience of God.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
So anyway,
And if you stay in your lane, there won't be no accidents, Jack.
no sup.
Yes,
So
sir. So this has been Maurice Lauchner. Um, Amazing, amazing man, amazing husband, father, friend, and brother, and just a confidant and someone that God has placed here to be a gift to all of us. So we celebrate you, my brother, and we want you to continue to grow and be everything that you got to be. And we got your back, man. We support you 1000%. And every time you get on TV or in a movie, I'm going to be famous again. Notice what I
listen,
said.
I hear
Not
you.
you. I'm going to be famous again.
Yep. Likewise, shoot, every
Yes, sir.
shirt, your clothing business and your banana pudding business and
Yeah,
your
man.
music and everything. We all famous because we're
Yeah,
brothers.
yeah,
One go
yeah.
up, we all go up.
That's right.
And
That's
I
right.
ain't calling you asking you for money, but I'm just saying when you exalted, I'm exalted too.
Well, I may have to call you for a few coins, because I'm not
That's all
going back.
right.
I'm not going back to Grubhub, so I may have to go.
That's hey, that's okay. And
No,
one thing
I would go back if I had to. I would. I
one
really
thing
would.
if I got it,
I know that's right.
you
I ain't
could
got to
get
worry about it. That's right.
you could get it.
Well,
If
I'm
I ain't
praying
got
that
it, you can't get it.
God bless us all beyond our wildest dreams, and
Yeah.
that we just walk into uncommon favor for this uncommon season. So, any parting words you want to give, words of advice, anybody, before we log off?
Um, it's something that I always sing at the end of our ministry. Always remember Jesus, Jesus. Always remember Jesus, Jesus. Always keep him on your heart, and always Always keep him on your mind.
Maurice Lauchner, I love you, bro.
Love
I'll
you
let
too,
you later.
man. Have
Yes,
a good
sir.
one.
We'll
All
talk.
right. All right.
Wow, Maurice Lauchner. Maurice Lauchner. I was going to sing right behind him, but I'm on vocal rest because I've been preaching, and I just finished preaching early this morning, so I wouldn't have been as fluid as I normally would have been. But I appreciate Maurice, man. I hope that you guys were blessed by that. And I want to announce I'm back on the radio every day, Monday through Friday. I'm back on Faith Expressions Network, and myself, Dorinda Clark, Cheryl Underwood are some of the personalities that are on this radio station. And I'm so thankful to God, to Phoenix. Phoenix is the owner of the radio station, and she contacted me a couple of days ago and said, Pastor, we want to put you back on the radio, because I was on the radio 2 years ago and my schedule just got really crazy and different things, and I just kind of left the show. But she saw fit and she saw something in me and was like, nah, your radio days are not done yet. So we want you to, let me pull this thing up. Let me give it to you. Faith Expressions. You are on every day, Jason. I'm on every day, guys, from starting at 8 a.m. And it's with my Start Your Day. My Start Your Day videos that I put up every day. Now we're on the radio on faithexpressions.net. Faithexpressions.net. And that's expressions with an X, not an E. So it's www.faithexpressions.net. Faithexpressions.net. So we want you to check us out. Again, we're in some great company. Myself, Dorinda Clark, and Cheryl Underwood are just some of the personalities that you will hear every Monday through Friday. So we're excited about that. And God did it, y'all. God did it. And we want you to be on the lookout. My new music video and my new single is coming to you very shortly. Very shortly. So we're looking for this one to just break the internet. We want the video to break the internet. We want this song to go to #1 on the internet. And we're just looking for great things. So I pray that you guys were blessed. And I want y'all to pray for me. Tonight is my first night of school again. I'm back in school. I'm going for my bachelor's degree. I'll be graduating in June. So tonight is the first night of classes. So I won't have a whole lot of time to be online and doing all this other stuff. And, I'll be in my book studying and just locked in because we got to get this next degree. We already got the associates, which is right behind me, right there, right there. Boom. That's my associate's degree. So I'm looking forward to hanging my bachelor's up next to it. So y'all pray for Pastor Jay. And remember, guys, that no one can stop you from being what you've been called to be except you. Nothing can stop you. You're unstoppable. If nobody else tells you this, I'm praying for you. I believe in you, and I know you're going to do it. Big shout out to everybody. Mom Marcella, Pam, my dad, everybody else that was in the chat room today. Thank you for tuning in, and I pray that you enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm gone. Peace.